Hello, good evening. I'm Kubrali and this is Awaz News. Let's take a look at the top stories here in Canada.
The Ford government has tabled an omnibus bill that would make changes to a whole suite of laws and regulations from green roofs to tenant evictions and driver's licenses. The Fighting Delays in Building Faster Act is proposing more than 40 changes to various regulations and acts. The bill is proposing a number of changes when it comes to disputes between landlords and tenants. Among other things, tenants would be required to give prior notices of issues they intend to raise at hearings and would not be allowed to introduce new issues without warning. The province says this is to avoid adjournments where the parties aren't prepared to speak to an issue. The government wants to make changes to the experience foreign drivers can use toward obtaining an Ontario driver's license. Changes proposed in the bill would restrict foreign driving experience credit to 12 months and require all non-reciprocal applicants to complete both G2 and G road test. The province says it wants to scrap Toronto's green roof bylaw, which sets out green roof requirement for new buildings. The province says the bylaw adds cost and complexity for developers and creates an inconsistent approach across the province. The province wants to transfer jurisdiction of water and wastewater services from Peel Regional Council to Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon and create a new public corporation model to deliver water and wastewater services. The province says it will extend Waterfront Toronto's mandate from 2028 to 2035 with a possible extension to 2040. Upper-tier municipalities without planning authority would be able to establish and fund community improvement plans to support lower-tier municipalities. The province says the goal is to leverage the tool to support more housing infrastructure and economic development. Air Canada is expanding service to Toronto's Billy Bishop Airport. On Thursday, the airline announced it is introducing daily flights to New York, Boston, Washington, and Chicago from the Toronto Island Airport starting spring 2026. We have had a long-standing desire to grow our footprint here. We have the growing segment of brand-loyal customers that find this airport appealing, Mark Gallardo, Air Canada's executive vice president, told Awaz News on Thursday. The airline said the new launch will include non-stop return service 4 times daily to New York's LaGuardia Airport, 3 times daily to Boston Logan International Airport, twice daily to Chicago O'Hare International Airport, and daily to Washington Dulles International Airport. The airline also announced that it would increase daily return flights from Toronto to Montreal and Ottawa, which are considered Canada's most heavily traveled corridors for business traffic, Gallardo said. Flights from Montreal will increase to 9 from 8 and to 6 from 4 from Ottawa. This announcement is excellent news for Canadian travelers. With Air Canada's new flights from Billy Bishop Airport to the U.S., along with increased flight frequency from Toronto to Ottawa and Montreal, we are strengthening regional and cross-border connectivity, said Steve McKinnon, Canada's Minister of Transport. These additions will make travel more convenient, help connect families across distances, support business growth, and enhance service quality for Canadian travelers. Education Minister Paul Calandra says if an Ontario school board doesn't restore prom plans for 3 of its high schools that cancelled them, he will step in and do it. 3 schools in the Durham District School Board decided to cancel the traditional event due to what the principals called growing liabilities and risks connected to school-run proms. Students reacted with anger and disappointment that they would not be able to celebrate in the way so many other students have done and continue to do. Calandra says today that his message to that board and others is, if you are thinking of cancelling the prom, think again. He says prom is not just a party, it's celebration of the students' achievements and is a very important rite of passage that can be done safely. Calandra says he hopes the schools and boards make those decisions on their own, but if he has to step in as Minister of Education to order that, he will. The Canada Industrial Relations Board has ruled against the union at Canada Post in its challenge to the Ottawa's move last year to force the postal employees back to work. The federal government brought an end to strike by postal workers during this busy holiday season last year using Section 107 of the Canada Labour Code to direct the Labour Board to order the workers back to work. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers challenged the move, saying it violated its rights to strike. The board concluded that Section 107 does not violate the Charter. It also says it has no authority to review the minister's decision. The CIRB decision was not unanimous. One member of the three-person panel dissented, suggesting that the government's decision restricted the workers' right to strike and interfered with their charter rights. The dispute between Canada Post and the union is ongoing as the two sides have been unable to reach terms on a new contract. The union had declared a fresh countrywide strike on September 25th, hours after the government announced changes to the postal service, including an end to door-to-door mail delivery for nearly all Canadian households within the next decade. However, it dialed back the disruptions early this month when it transitioned to rotating strikes across the country, restoring the service. Premier Doug Ford and Prime Minister Mark Carney said they are on the same page when it comes to many issues concerning the country and province, including how many games it will take the Blue Jays to defeat the Dodgers in the World Series. Carney echoed the Premier's prediction, noting that he expects it will be a fantastic series. Carney added that his upcoming trip to Asia to attend two summits was poor timing, as he won't be in the country from October 24th to November 1st, the entire duration of the potential 7-game series. Ford stated that he plans to watch the games in his man cave. Ford reiterated comments he made Wednesday about going after resellers who are gouging the country's baseball fans. Ford told reporters on Wednesday that the province is considering legislation to target ticket resellers and prevent them from charging exorbitant amounts of money for tickets with the significantly lower face value. World Series tickets for 4-hour games went on sale Tuesday morning and were almost completely sold out in under 30 minutes. Resale tickets almost immediately appeared on Ticketmaster's website for a massively inflated price. In 2019, the Ford government scrapped a law that could cap ticket resale prices at 50% above the original face value, calling it unenforceable. The Ontario NDP announced Thursday that they plan to table a motion to implement a cap on ticket resale prices amid fans being priced out of the team's historic return to the World Series. Toys R Us says a database containing customers' personal information was accessed in what it calls a cybersecurity incident. The toy store chain sent an advisory to shoppers whose data was accessed, saying it began an investigation in the summer. The company wrote it hired a third-party investigator after claims emerged online that someone had stolen information from its customer database. This investigation revealed that some records had been copied, the source said. The letter to customers said the information accessed may have included customers' names, addresses, email addresses, and phone numbers. It did not contain passwords or credit card information, Toys R Us said. Customers were told that it's possible not all of their information was accessed and that the store is currently not aware of anything to suggest information gleaned in the incident has been used for fraud. Still, shoppers are advised to be vigilant and contact the store's customer service department if they receive any unexpected emails or text messages that appear to be from Toys R Us asking for personal information. Customers can also send any questions about the advisory to that email address. Additionally, they are advised not to click links or download attachments from suspicious emails, such as those that contain obvious typos, formatting issues, or unsolicited offers of gifts or money. The store says it already has strong protections in place across our IT systems, but that the incident prompted the store to enhance those security measures to prevent future incidents. Prime Minister Mark Carney made no commitments Thursday to supporting a proposed tunnel under Highway 401 to reduce gridlock in the Greater Toronto Area GTA, a project Ontario Premier Doug Ford has touted as a nation-building project worthy of federal funding. Standing beside Ford during an announcement about nuclear power investments Thursday, Carney was asked by CTV News Toronto whether he would support the project. He said discussions are currently underway with the provinces to consider many new projects that would receive the funding. Carney said the federal government wants to support big infrastructure projects that meet several objectives. He said the federal government is currently discussing the next group of projects to be announced by mid-November, but added that they are just getting started. He gave no specific endorsement for the tunnel project. Ford has proposed building a massive tunnel underneath Highway 401 that would traverse a large portion of the GTA in order to stimulate the economy in the face of tariffs and to protect against future gridlock. He said last month that he believes Carney will include the tunnel as part of the nation-building projects they are supporting federally in order to combat the effects of U.S. tariffs.
Thank you for watching Awaz News. This is Kubra Ali. See you tomorrow. Have a good night.